I became a Christian when I was 4. My parents are missionaries with Campus Crusade, so I've always been in the church. I always believed in Jesus, but it was never a personal, intimate relationship until I got to college. I had a really tough senior year of high school and really struggled with anxiety, depression going into my freshman year of college. I ended up having to leave school for a year to go through a counseling program. I ended up having to take another year off for surgeries, and so my college experience just wasn't the idyllic college experience that I envisioned. But I think that it was such a blessing in that through those moments of realizing that my life wasn't turning out exactly as I'd hoped it would, that I realized I needed somebody to lean on, and so my relationship with Jesus became more intimate and more essential to my life. When I was 4, I remember coming into the living room in the house that we lived in and telling my parents that I wanted to accept Jesus into my heart, the typical 4-year-old understanding of Christianity. And I remember also being really afraid of hell, so I was like, ooh, I better lock in the heaven thing while I can. Probably some of those things, the anxiety showing itself at 4. I've talked to a lot of other people who have accepted Jesus at that age. Sometimes it takes a while for it to become more of an intimate thing because your understanding is so different at 4, and as you grow, you learn more about what it really means to have like a close, I keep using the word intimate, but intimate relationship with Jesus. To have it be less of a big God and more of a father. I think God's been teaching me a lot about perseverance, which I think before I thought of as more, gritting your teeth until things get better. But I think in the context of faith, of the Christian faith, it's more about holding on to the hope that God's plan is better than yours. I think it's more of a conscious choice to rest in the knowledge that your plans are never going to be as good as God's plans. So if things aren't going the way you expected, that doesn't mean that things won't be good. But I think I've been learning about holding on to that hope. In the last couple years, I had a surgery that was supposed to be pretty minor that ended up being a little more major, and it kind of messed things up a little bit in terms of the timeline of my life that I had kind of envisioned for myself. And then 6 months later, I ended up needing open heart surgery quite a bit earlier than I expected to need it because I have a congenital heart condition. It just has seemed the last couple of years that every time things start to get better, something else happens. My sister passed away in the end of December. God's plan is so much better than the plan that I had. Even if I can't see why right now, it's kind of hard to see why. And I think that I've also been learning that God is okay when it's not as easy for me to hold on to him when I'm angry or sad or I feel hopeless. It's not something he can't shoulder, and he's always, calling me back gently, never chastising for the struggle. But that's just been such a good thing. And I'm sure I'll appreciate it even more, in 20 years. But it's been something I needed to learn. So.